thing that affected me the most last year, in 2017, was the birth of my kids. I was fully aware loads of things were happening within the year, such as Grenfell. Grenfell was arguably one of the biggest tragedies I've had in my lifetime in terms of witnessing. The reason why I say my kids is because they were born at 7 months. So I had twins born at 7 months. So they were meant to be inside that womb for 2 more months. Now, it's very traumatic seeing someone from abroad, them come in and changing their whole lifestyle, moving to London to build a family. Your twins come out in March when they're meant to be here in May. And then I've got to go abroad for a month to work. So the way I anticipated the situation is by the time I come back, I've got a month and I've made enough money abroad and I can go get the cots and all of that. What was difficult was them coming out 7 months, going into incubators, and then me having to disappear for a month whilst the young lady had to deal with the situation of waking up at 4 a.m. by herself, spending hours upon hours in the hospital looking after 2 kids. That brought a whole different feeling to me as a human being, as a person. And it goes back to what I was saying about parenting. You would look at the Grenfell Tower and realise kids have been lost, but if you're not a parent, you're never gonna understand it to the extent that a parent will understand it. Like, it's a whole different level of understanding. Looking at something you've created, looking at something you gave birth, like you are fully responsible or half responsible for this being here. Like, I can't imagine what that feels like to lose because of incompetence from really irresponsible pricks, fam. I can't even imagine, because it's like, where do I point the finger? Who do I go to? Who's responsible for the loss of my child? The loss of my brother? The loss of my cousin? The loss of my friend? The loss of my associate? The loss of my neighbor? Who do I point to? And when I look at the Grenfell Tower, not only do I look at lives lost, I look at potential doctors, I look at potential YouTubers, I look at the potential that we've lost within that situation as well. Leaders, people that would have inspired people to do so much, have all been lost because they come from working class homes. They come from homes that society considers not really that significant or not really that important. But the amount of success stories that have come from the hood per se are incredible. And unfortunately, our voice isn't heard. I looked at it and I just said, like, you lot have fucked up, man. Like, London, you fucked up and you don't even know how. This is a situation that's gonna affect people for years. You've neglected the needs and necessities of working class individuals to cater to a middle class audience that essentially don't give a fuck anyway. No one life is important than the next. We're all important. Even your enemy, even if there's someone that you hate, bro. Like, there's people that I'm not too fond of. I don't really hate or dislike people, but there's people I'm just like, do you know what? I would never want to see them hurt. I would never want to see them dead. I would never want to know that the government's put them in a fucking position where they're in the Grenfell Tower, sitting down, sleeping in their bed, and they have to flipping escape with their families and throw kids out of windows and run down staircases with fire and all of that. I don't want to see anyone go through that. It's just not fair. It's not fair because it's not happening to any other social group. It's not happening to the middle class or the upper class. Why should that be happening to a working class family? We already go through so much. We're foreigners. We've come to a land that's not ours. I'm like the 2nd generation, 3rd generation at most of Jamaicans living within London. We come over here, we do what we do, we work and we do whatever we have to do to cater to the environment that we're in. My family don't just sit down and do nothing. We don't just claim child support and claim all of these other supports and all these other things that people would accuse us of. Like, we don't just claim benefits. No, we work extremely hard. I'm a byproduct of working hard. Why do we not deserve more of a say than someone else? And even if we didn't work hard, we're in this bloody country, you've given us somewhere to live, at least make it be safe. At the bare minimum, at least make it be safe. We can't have a whole building go on fire because a fridge explodes. It's fucking bullshit. It's disgusting. And the fact that no one wants to come forward and say, it's my fault. I now, every time I go West London, have to see banners about the Grenfell Tower and none of it's good. That's not fair. That's just not fair. I'm never going to sit here and tell you that I know history very well or I know politics very well or I don't. I'm not going to try and fool anyone into believing that I do. But one thing I think I have a good sense of is energy and people and just love and a good understanding of love and how important it is. So when I meet Jeremy Corbyn, okay, let me see what your intentions are just on a basic human level. And his intentions on a basic human level, when I have a conversation with him, it's always positive and it's always good. Obviously, it's my interpretation of it. I understand that. But then when I see some of the things that he tells me he wants to implement, little things like making sure young people have a voice. Do you know how much of a risk that is? As a grown adult, to say, I want young people to have a voice. I want them to be able to have a platform where they can have their say. For me, that instantly took my attention and go, what? You mean you care what the younger generation have to say? So from that perspective, I fuck with it. Now, I've watched a couple of things to do with Theresa May, and just her energy, just the way she puts things across, I'm just not fucking with it. So it gets to the point where sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, because she might have had good things to say, but because of the way she is and the way she talks, and I just don't care. She doesn't come across as a person that I feel should be leading a country because of her genuine energy. Like if that's your leader, I'm just like, bloody hell, bro. Like, man's not on that, cuz I don't want to deal with people like that. Like, what are you saying that lets me know that you want to improve the country in which we live in for everyone? Not just for the middle class, not just for the upper class, for the working class, for the young people, for the people that migrate over here looking for an opportunity. How are we going to improve this country for everyone? So that sort of message we send out, people understand it. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, fucking Jamaican, Turkish, whatever. Coming to England is an opportunity for you to grow and reach whatever you want to do. That is important. And I felt like that's the vibe I got from Jeremy Corbyn. And that's all I care about. I don't care about I just don't care about all this other stuff, man. It's irrelevant to me. So anyone that's come in here and willing to help and willing to try and help people to grow, to become better individuals, I'm all down for. I just feel like there needs to be more support for the younger generation. Everyone in this country, at least London, to really, really, really look at themselves and develop some self-love. That's the only change I want for London. I'm not even going to say England, and because I live in London predominantly, and that's a common problem I have on the London Underground, everything. We don't talk to people as people. We talk to them based upon stereotypes, past experiences. We don't look at it. Even I'm guilty of it. I see police, fuck police. We all need to change our frame of mind and take it away from stereotypes and all that shit and just look at man as humans, fam. And just try and help people off the basis of that they're doing something positive. Like, it just doesn't have to be like this, man. 4 stabbings on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Like, bro. Like, it's sad, man. But I understand things have to get a lot worse before they get better. And I think this is the period. I think 2017 was the transition period where a lot of bad things happened. Hopefully for a lot more people like myself to wake up and realize that, you know, we've got to do a lot more to help our planet, bro. So yeah, my message would be to try and look at things from other people's perspective, and hopefully we can grow from there.